Good morning, off the bench sports family. We are here at Port Allen High School, Port Allen Fieldhouse. Before you, Coach Gibson, head coach, Port Allen Pelicans. How are you, Coach? What's going on today?
I'm doing great, feeling great, excited about this upcoming season. How you doing today?
Hey man, I'm always 100.
Yes, sir. That's what I like to hear.
I'm always 100, man. Thank you for having Off the Bench Sports and inviting us into your home. First I want to tell you guys congratulations. In your 3-year tenure here, you guys have done a lot of good things. So congratulations. And as always, first timers, I always ask you guys to go ahead and give a little bio about yourself. And
Basically, well, man, first of all, it's been a process, so we're getting there in those 3 years, and we feel good about where we're going. But, born and raised in Gloucester, Mississippi, played football at the University of Tulsa up there in Oklahoma. Did a little college coaching for a couple of years. After that, went back to high school up there in Oklahoma in Tulsa. Became the defensive coordinator up there for 3 years at Central High School. After that, I left Central High School and became the head coach at Webster High School for 3 years. Went back to Central High School as the athletic director and head football coach for 4 years. And now I've been here at Port Allen High School for the last, now going on 3 years. So that's kind of a little bit of a bio of, who I am and what I'm about. And, I'm excited to be here. I feel good about the brand that we are building here at Port Allen. And it's going to be a great year for us.
man, it seems like by my numbers, that's total 15 years total coaching experience, 2 at the college level, 13 at the high school, now 7 total as an athletic director. How easy has the transition been for you?
Well, it was an easy transition. When I got here, I understood that I wasn't going to be the athletic director, and I was fine with that. My biggest thing was I'm a football coach first, and so for an opportunity to come here and be a part of a community like Port Allen, this is a job that I feel like I can flourish in. And, the jobs that I had first, those were jobs were building block jobs that we made those programs better. And the numbers, don't say a lot of what we did inside of those programs to improve them. And every time we left those programs, they were in better shape. But this job here is a job that you can excel year in and year out. And it's kind of been a process of getting to where we being at now. We feel really, really good about where we at this year. So it's going to be a great year. The athletic director part was great. They gave me some knowledge and experience in my past. But right now, I'm just focused on being the head football coach here at Port Allen and building this program.
Hey, that's what's up, man. But I tell you, I talk to guys all the time. Great energy, and if that's the energy that you're projecting to those kids, I see why you guys have done well over here.
Right.
What's the Coach Gibson philosophy and principles of football?
Life, family first. That's the most important thing. God. We put those things first, and then from there we build that solid foundation. It's all about these kids. I love football more than anybody. But more than anything, I feel like I was put on this earth for something, and that's to make a difference. And I was blessed to be able to play this sport, and I know what it can do for you. I know, the foundation that it can lay for you. And as a young man coming out of the town I came in, what it did for me. So an opportunity for me to come back and give back and be a positive role model influence in these young men's life, that's my first thing that I want to do. And from there, I want to build a successful program. And the first thing that we got to do is we got to put academics first. We got to make sure that that's a priority. We got to do things right on and off the field. We got to make sure we're doing things right in the community, giving back and things like that. And all of the other things to take care of itself. And if you see the trend that our program is taking, you see it's trending where it needs to go. And the first thing is that we got to build and lay that foundation. And I think we did that those first 2 years.
You guys have gotten better over the last couple of years. What was the process in strengthening your schedule this upcoming season?
Well, the first thing is you have to build trust, and the biggest thing is when you're building a program, you have to look at what needs to be done. And there are some things that we needed to change up with the structure, the discipline, and things like that. I think we did a heck of a job of that, and then the accountability. This year we were able to bring in an offensive coordinator that I feel extremely good about. and I like where we're headed. He just happened to be my brother. And so with that being said, I know he's going to do a great job. He's had a successful background as a head coach and offensive coordinator at Macomb High School in Mississippi and Ida Bell High School in Oklahoma. So, getting that part of it along with what we've done in the past defensively and special teams wide, now you're putting those things together along with all of the kids that we brought back. So now you say, okay, you ready for that schedule that's going to allow you to show people and showcase the talent that we do have here at Port Allen. And so once again, it's going to be a great year.
Who are some of the guys that in your first year in being here that maybe you said, wow, this guy has it, this guy needs a little bit more work, but now in the process of growing up and maturing, you say, hey, these guys are guys that I can depend on?
Well, the thing about it is there was so much from the first year to the second year, there was so much turnover in our roster. We had a kind of a heavy senior class. And so one of the guys that I did notice when I first got here was Edward Wilson, who's a guy who's got a scholarship offer from Nicholls State in Southeastern. I looked at that guy, watching him move around with those older guys, and he was a sophomore then, and I say, man, that guy's kind of got a it factor about him. But then the next year, my second year, there was just a tremendous amount of turnover with the kids, and we were so young last year. But then you can see it. So I was at all of the middle school games, and I was making sure that, I was there to make sure that I knew what was coming up, and we had them coming up. You had guys like Jacoby Howard, Mikhail Franklin, then we ended up bringing in Jordan Antoine, Jeremiah Dehon. We've got guys now coming in this year like Braylon White and Jamal Franklin. And you got all of those guys with all of this potential and talent, and you say, okay, now let's put all of these things together and let's build this program like it will. And when you only have 3 or 4 seniors, it's hard, and that's what we had last year. And we was counting on freshmen. At times we had 6 freshmen starting on the field last year. We didn't make any excuses. We're not about excuses. We knew what we were doing. We knew what we were building. And by the end of the year, you saw it. You start reaping the benefits of those young guys getting all of those playing times and things like that. And so we went on that little winning streak, and we got in that playoff game, and a playoff game that we felt like we should have won. I can tell you that right there, and we had the confidence going into that game, and we walked off of that field knowing that we created the motto after that game, leave no doubt, because we don't want to leave it up to anybody else. We want to make sure that we do the things that we need to do to be successful and where we're headed as a program. And so it's been a process, but I think that process is going to pay off this year.
Again, scheduling, non-conference versus district. What does that look like?
Well, we start off with Brutally. That's the game that, our game that we feel really good about. That's the rivalry game. That's the Sugarcane Classic. So that game is always a must. And, from there, we wanted to stay on this side for a lot. We got Livonia, who's been a great program. Look at the job Mark Brown has done over there. Donaldsonville is a great program. They're always going to have great kids over there. We also went with Opelousas Catholic out of Opelousas, who's a really good 1A program. And so we wanted to build that foundation there with a lot of teams that we feel like can challenge us and give us that needed test that we need before we get into district play, because district play is going to be tough.
Yes. Tell us about your guys' district there, Dunham,
East Feliciana, Episcopal, Northeast, Capital, and you look at those teams. Dunham has kind of been the standard of our district the last couple of years. They've had some really good players. Neil has done a great job over there. Look at Episcopal. Episcopal, man, those guys are always going to be there. Coach has done a great job over there. And East Feliciana was said over there, man, those guys always got dudes that over there can play. So it's going to be tough. Look at Capital. Look at the jump Capital made, in a year. And so you look at those teams, and Northeast has always got kids. Northeast was a quarterfinal team a couple of years ago in the playoffs. And so you look at those teams, it's a challenging district. But if you're not up for the challenge, what are you in this sport for? In order to be the best, you got to beat the best. And at some point, we got to say that Port Allen wants to be the best. And in order to do that, we got to start unseating some of these teams. And we feel like we're going to try to start doing that this year.
You guys, like most other schools across the state, this week is scrimmage week.
That's right.
Next week is
Jamboree. Yep.
Tell us about those games.
Well, first of all, today we're going to start off our scrimmage with Laranja, which is a good solid 3A team, you know, that's going to consistently be in the playoffs and challenge you. So that's going to be a good test for us. We had them in the regular season the last 2 years. When we split those contests, they beat us there. We beat them here last year. So it's going to be a good test for us to get started off with today. You know, Coach Messina's done a great job over there, great guy. So that's going to be a great challenge for us. And then we go down to St. James and we go to their jamboree, and we play Assumption. Assumption is a big 4A school that's going to be another test for us, and we're looking forward to it. And, you know, and I go back to this. In order to get to where you want to be, in order to find out who you are as a program, you have to have those challenges. I can't, you know, as a coach, you don't want to schedule teams that don't challenge you and give you that false sense of security. So now if we go against those teams, we're going to find out what we are as a program, and the things that we need to get fixed, we can get fixed. But we feel good about where we headed.
Right. Again, Donaldsonville, OpCap, roll over to District, Dunham, Episcopal. Those are solid, really solid games. Great job you've done again. Congratulations. Thank you for taking a moment with Off the Bench Sports. Remember, get off the bench, get into the game.